Welcome in 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10 as we get ready to wind down the month of August. Where has the summer gone? So, look, I've done this before on this show, but it's always important to let people know what we're seeing, what's happening in the place of vendors and strategy phone calls, check in calls, data calls, whatever y'all want to call them. That monthly call with a client is something that, man, this week I had a tale of two calls. Okay. Tale of two calls. Call one with a client getting a, kind of a looking to maybe move on from the product, trying to get some more feedback. We went through the meeting. Me and the client were there. The individual we spoke with didn't stop or take a breath till 22 after the hour. The call started at the top of the hour. 22 minutes without asking a question. And I don't mean like, oh, does anyone have any questions? That didn't even happen. But that's not even enough for me. I mean stopping, taking time, looking through things. Ladies and gentlemen, when you cover your screen in data and use your mouse to point to a bunch of different shit, it's not really as helpful as you think it is. And I know that's part of it is what most companies plan. I have to tell you, most company calls you have with dealers are a waste of everyone's time. And I say that from a guy who will take what you guys will do in 30 minutes and I'll sum it up in under 30 seconds because it isn't that hard. It doesn't take that much attention if you know what you're looking at and you're doing it consistently. You see, that's the thing, consistently. So we're going through this call, right? We don't get asked any questions. We don't hear any engagement, and it just keeps going and going. So much so that I muted my mic and I just screamed in my office, please shut up. Please shut up. That's all I want is just, and I don't normally do that. This is my life. I sit through shitty phone calls like daily. Like it's life. It's the way it goes when you deal with the vendor dealer relationship, but it doesn't have to be this way. Okay. So when vendors review data with dealers over the internet and maybe even in person, you got to know after 10 minutes of straight data, the eyes are as glazed as wonderful donuts. They are in no position to continue to even process what else you're telling them. So I caution anyone against a data-heavy review, unless, of course, you have clients who specifically request that, right? So like we have great clients out west in the desert who they want only data calls because they know what they're looking at. They want to hear what is happening. But when they want the data is used to fuel the strategy. None of you, that wasn't fair. I'm sorry. Most of you do not have a data/strategy call. Most of you are on one side or the other. And even then, the direction, the goal is a little bit lost. Okay. If you're trying to go into live accounts, you better have the right client who wants to sit through a GA4 presentation of it in their account. Because most people have no idea what they're looking at. They haven't been in there since it was UA. They definitely don't know what we're talking about now. Yet as an industry, we want to just continue to boom, boom, boom the data. Even if it's, I don't want to call it irrelevant, but maybe it's not as relevant as one had hoped potentially. So there's that side of this, right? So this goes on. There was also the client had a hard stop at whatever time it was. This vendor blew right past the hard stop. The dealer left, which is why we're there because they have to roll and we stick with it. We're happy to do it. But it went on. It went on. There was probably, I'd say 2 question breaks in 50 minutes of a call that was supposed to be 30. The respect of other people's time is something a lot of people are lacking right now. I don't think enough people have enough respect for people's time. And in my life, time is the only thing that I have to monetize. So if you are going to take my time, it has to be worth my time. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And I know it sounds simple, but even around like household chores, things of this nature, if you're going to take up 4 or 5 hours of something versus paying someone who can do it themselves, you need to balance those against what your time is worth versus what a professional can do it for, right? That's what this is about. This is about time orientation. This is about what do we have, where are we going with it, and how much are you trying to cram into 30 minutes? Most of you are working way too hard in presenting data that most of your clients don't give a shit about. I'm sorry, not sorry. This is the reality at which we live. Now, the reason it's a tale of two calls is because then a couple days later, I had a fucking home run call. All right. Home run call with my buddy and good time, long time client, good friend, Marty Valdigiuli, Matthews Motors down in the Carolinas, North Carolina to be specific. And so we were on a call with a vendor, and this vendor, great vendor, good people. And so we were going through everything. And then the call sort of started with data. Marty, the dealer, really drove the call, which, by the way, that's how this should be going, folks. You should come in with a game plan, whatever. But when the dealer is ready to go their direction, you need to be nimble enough to go there, because that's where the magic happens. Okay? It was magical, this call. We started to get into strategy. We got deeper into service strategy. Then we started to say, wait a second, how can we use service as it relates to social? Oh my gosh, everyone's minds are moving. We've got creative discussion. We've got, well, wait a second, what does the data tell us? Should we make changes? Unbelievable, right? And it was normally it was scheduled for 40 minutes. It went to 45. No one even noticed it actually went on to 55 minutes at the end of it, because it was full of actionable takeaways. I'll repeat it again for those in the back that didn't hear it. Actionable takeaways is the point of your fucking calls every single month. And if it isn't the point, then you are doing something wrong. If you just want to have a call to spew data at a dealer, here's some advice. Don't. Okay? Don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. Just send him a fucking email. Okay? That's the other thing, is we have another vendor we work with. This is sort of an added bonus for y'all looking for better details. I got another vendor that all he does is send a bi-weekly email of what's hot, what's not, what are the insights, what are the recommendations. Boom. You know how many calls me and that vendor have had with our partner dealer in the last 6 months? Less than 5, people. And this is a very aggressive, very smart run dealership group who, when their director of marketing came to me and said, Sean, these emails rock, I thought to myself, wow, an email. And what does she say? Because that's all most of these meetings should be, is an email. That's coming from dealers, people. That's not from Sean. Oh, Sean doesn't like vendors. That's false. I'm in the world of efficiency and making life easier for car dealers. That's my life. That's my dedication. That's why I say what I say and see what I see, is to try and help people get better. I don't run these companies, and thank God I don't, because I would not have the bandwidth to deal with all of this nonsense. We've grown more in the last 18 months than we have in the last 10 years, and I sometimes think I'm out of my mind for doing that. So, because it's hard to control the exterior, and I realize that these bigger companies, when you guys have these calls, you lose that aspect of it. Okay, cool. Don't care. Start listening to your calls. Start having them recorded. Start having AI note takers. I don't give a shit what it is. Have people in the room who can then come back and give feedback. Have the ability for people to get better at their jobs and learn more. That's it. That was the tale of two calls. Next week on the show, social media data with a man who knows it better than most. You're going to want to tune in for that. Thank you all so much. Go out and have a killer close to August. Thanks.